How many have seen in the past that are not here tonight? The Straight Way of Grace Ministry is a traveling ministry. We teach the truth about Islam. We have two goals. The first goal is to educate you, the American people, about Islam. The second goal is to educate the Muslims about the real Islam, for the hope that they will get saved, that they will leave the savage cult of Islam and become a Christian. This is my heart desire. And if I could not have Muslims here, but I have you, that is wonderful, because now I can train you, and you can reach out to your Muslim neighbor and truly love your Muslim neighbor and lead them to the truth of the gospel. The name of our ministry, as you see on the board, comes from two verses. The first verse is Quran chapter 1, verse 5. That's when Muslims pray to their Allah, Satan, asking him to lead them to the straight way. So Muslims say, guide us to the straight way. This is their prayer. And if you listen carefully to the rest of the prayer, you know exactly what they mean by this prayer, because that line itself is beautiful. Guide us the straight way. Listen carefully, and you find this clearly written in our translation of the Quran, as it is approved by all Muslim scholars. So what I'm about to say, I'm not making this up. That is what is Orthodox Islam. That's what the hardcore believe of Islam. They said, guide us to the straight way, and then you read after this, the way of those whom you have graced, between soft bracket, the Muslims, not the way of those whom your wrath or your anger against, between soft bracket, the Jews, nor the lost ones, between soft bracket, the Christians. So Muslim prayer is this. They're praying to their Allah, Satan, to lead them to Islam, not to Judaism, because Allah is angry against the Jews, nor to Christianity, because Christianity is the religion of the lost people. All lost will burn in hell. Christians will burn in hell. As a matter of fact, if you believe that Jesus is God, and if you believe that Jesus accepts the worship of his disciples as it is written in the scripture, that means Jesus himself also right now is burning in hell. This is the solid belief of Islam. They are praying to their Allah to become Muslims, never to become a Jew nor a Christian. Now the answer for their prayer comes from the Bible. When Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one, and under no one you can put any person, name, or religion, or belief. No Baptist, no Catholic, no Presbyterian, no Lutheran, no Buddhist, no atheist, no Muslim. No one can come to the Father. No one can make it to heaven except through Jesus Christ. If Jesus Christ is a true teacher, a good prophet, and a good man, as Muslim claims, they have to believe that this statement here is 100% true, or Jesus is a bad teacher and a blasphemer and a big liar. He cannot be a good teacher and teach lies. Muhammad could not make it to heaven unless he trusts in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And obviously he rejected this throughout the Quran, which means Muhammad himself cannot make it to heaven forever. Now, this is my beloved wife Vicky, and this is our son Caleb. Vicky is right now visiting with her mama. She went last week to surprise her for a Mother's Day. So here I am alone, and she's down there, but thank God for all the help I got here. Our son Caleb is living in Florida. He no longer travels with us. He's a grown-up man. I tried to convince him to do home college because we did homeschooling. He said, no, it's not for me to go. So, Vicky and I have been married now for 25 years, and I deeply believe in my heart that these are the best 25 years of her life. The presentation we're going to be doing tonight is called Reveal the Truth About Sharia. What the Quran teaches about Sharia, what Islam is all about, and we start from here.
This troubled world is experiencing a clash of cultures and an ideological war that dates back over 1400 years. The loyal followers of a violent and intolerant religion are once again on the march, seeking to bring the globe under the domination of Islam. The nations that have fallen prey to this ungodly faith are quite easy to recognize. Freedoms and rights enjoyed by most of us in the West are typically denied in Muslim countries. Women and homosexuals are oppressed or killed. Other faiths are banned or discriminated against. Certain foods are prohibited. And penalties for even simple crimes are cruel and severe. This way of regulating every aspect of life and government is simply known as Sharia. Muslims claim that Sharia, or Islamic law, and the freedoms and rights we enjoy from the U.S. Constitution are perfectly compatible. But is this true? Can Sharia and the U.S. Constitution coexist in America?
This is a question which I will be spending the next an hour and a half or so to answer for you. And I hope and I pray that you will take notes. And if you have any question as I teach tonight, feel free to write your question down so you will remember it. And in the end, I'll give you all the time you need to ask me any question about this topic or any other topic. The difference between our meetings and meet your Muslim neighbor and the coexist propaganda of Muslim, Christian, and Jew are one belief, one core, and all this hogwash propaganda. In these meetings, when people have a question, you have to write the question down, and you have to pass it around, and if somebody feel lucky, he will get his question to be answered. You know, in our meeting, you ask any question about any topic, it doesn't matter what it is, and we'll answer it, as long as they allow us to stay here. When they close the library, we can stand outside and answer a few more questions if you want. Now, this is a very important topic, and I believe it is very valuable, and I hope and I pray that you will learn the truth about it. First question I'd like to ask here is, what is Sharia? What is Sharia? Lots of American people think they know everything about Islam, and when we talk about Sharia, they immediately have the answer. No, sadly, I can tell you with all respect, we Americans have no clue what is Islam and what is Sharia. That's why I believe Hosea 4:6 is reality of the end of America. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We American people know nothing about Islam, and when we claim we know something about Islam, we prove to the Muslims and to the world that we truly know nothing about Islam, as you're going to be learning here tonight. Here's a question that's going to ask from a Meet Your Muslim Neighbor. It's a Lutheran Social Service organization in a Lutheran Social Service church. It's a very liberal Lutheran church, and I'm not saying all Lutherans are liberals. I speak in many Lutheran churches all over this country, the conservative one. I'm talking about the liberals one. Those are the one who make $1,000 to $5,000 from every Muslim they resettle in America. They make money. They're so mad at Trump right now because they're losing money right and left because of Mr. Trump. Those are the people who would like to convince you and brainwash you that Islam and Christianity are on the same page. Listen, this is a question was given from that lady to the Muslim panel to learn about what is Sharia.
A couple of our audience members wanted to hear more about Sharia law, in particular to how it's regarded by Muslims living in the United States and its relation to North Dakota laws. Does anyone feel like they can speak to that?
Very good question. If anybody in this room found Sharia law book, please bring it to me. I'm serious. I really want to see this book. Where is this Sharia law book? In Islam, we have Islamic rules, Islamic laws that every Muslim follows. Some do not. Some follow some of it. But there is nothing as Sharia law's book. As there is a written book, and we as Muslims go and want to apply that book to our daily life in North Dakota or anywhere we live. Our scholars, the Islamic, the school of thought that I myself follow in Islam, tells me that I have to follow the rules of the country that I live in. That's it.
The question was given by the lady, what is Sharia law? When you ask a dumb question, you lose the whole point of why you even ask the question. What is Sharia law? How many of you have ever heard the word Sharia without the word law next to it? We all hear Sharia law, Sharia law, Sharia law. You don't believe me? Sean Hannity is going to tell it to us, Sharia law. Everybody talk about Sharia law. Sharia is an Arabic word for the word law. When you say Sharia law, you're saying law. That's why he answers the question by being mocking us by saying, if anyone can find the Sharia law book, please bring it to me. Because there is no book that's called law book. Trust me. Sometimes we try to impress people around us by speaking some Arabic words and we have no clue what we're saying. Have you ever heard anybody say Sahara Desert? What the word Sahara means? Desert. Oh, wonderful, good. You're scholars of Arabic language now. How about stick with English? Which means what? We're going to say Sharia or we're going to say Islamic law. One of the two, not Sharia law. Do we have a book for Sharia? Yes, indeed. It's actually written in English. I'm going to introduce this book to you later, and you can download it for free. Like, do we have a book? It's called the Quran. Yes, indeed. It's behind you on the table. And I hope and I pray before you leave this meeting tonight, you get a copy. My translation, so you learn the truth about Sharia. which comes from these two books. First of all, he said, well, in his school of thought, they believe if they live in America, they live by the law of America. His scholars teach that. I would love to know what name of what scholar he's talking about, because these scholars do not exist except in his imagination. There is not one Muslim scholar, Ibn Kathir, Tabari, Qurtubi, Jalal, or any other person you choose to follow, who will tell you that when you live in America, you live by the Sharia, by the laws of America. When you live in England, you live by the laws of England. Really? How many Muslims do we have in America? Less than 1%. What are they doing? They're forcing us right now to practice Sharia, Islamic law. Right now. I'm going to prove to you tonight that each and every one of you here tonight are paying money according to Sharia in your businesses in America. Wow. No kidding. You who are listening to me right now. That to prove to you that you know nothing about Islam and you know nothing about Sharia. Now, here's what Sharia is.
The term Sharia is the sacred law of Islam. It is used to refer both the Islamic system of law and the totality of the Islamic way of life.
That's what Sharia is. That is what Islamic law is about. If that is what is written for Muslims to follow, how in the world they can live in America, believe in our Constitution, and live with our Constitution? Why in the world Muslims in Europe today are holding sign, democracy go to hell and freedom go to hell, if they really do not believe to live in Europe but by the European laws? Where Sharia come from? There are two books. The first book is called the Quran. Sadly, I guarantee you, many of you have no clue what's written in the Quran. Because if you know what is written in the Quran, we'll not be in the situation where we are in today in America. The reasons why Muslims are living in America, why Muslims are taking over America, because we as Americans are super stupid, know nothing about what is written in the Quran. I use the word stupid very, very sincerely. I'm not here to insult anybody, but when you never read the Quran, you're dumb of the Quran. You're stupid about the Quran. You know nothing about the Quran. If we know what's in the Quran, we will not allow a Muslim to protest us or to do anything he can or she can to stop us from meeting in that building, which is built by our tax money. No kidding. The privileges we have in America of freedom of speech and freedom, all the freedom we have given here, they do not know in the 57 Muslim country, or they are losing it right now in Europe, and soon we'll lose in America because we do not know what's in that book. That is the first source of Sharia, the Quran. Second source is the Hadith, the saying of Muhammad. You see, when you read the Quran, Allah's words, when you read the Hadith, Muhammad's words, you will read that Allah said, do this or don't do that. And Muhammad said, do this or don't do that. And if you do it, here is the word. And if you don't do it, here is the punishment. So the do's and don't do's, these are the laws of Sharia. The laws which Muslims live by. I want you to listen to Mr. Nabil. Another gentleman was in the same meeting. And he added a little bit more information to what the first gentleman said about Sharia. Listen carefully, please.
But for the certain things that human beings need guidance, there are some rules, and they are so flexible, they can, use to apply to any place at any time. Because things change during from ancient times until now.
So if you need some guidance with these laws, which some practice and some don't practice, some practice half of it, these laws of Sharia are flexible. Why? Because things change. You see, in Muhammad days, the camels, the fastest camels they had, go 28 miles an hour. Today we have cars can go to 228 miles an hour. Therefore, we need flexibility in the Sharia. No, it's just a lie from the bottom of hell. There's no flexibility in the Quran. There's no flexibility in the Hadith. What is said is what is written is what must be practiced as it is. You need to change, not Allah's word or Muhammad's commands. Here's a lesson from their own scholars.
Sharia cannot be improved, reformed, or changed because it is based on the Quran and Sunnah, which Muslims believe is perfect, eternal, universal, and complete.
You can't change Sharia. There's no flexibility in the laws of Islam. As it is written, must be practiced. Move on.
Sharia cannot be amended to conform to changing human values and standards. Rather, it is the absolute norm to which all human values and conduct must conform.
Who said that? One of the Muslim spiritual leaders, Yusuf al-Qaradawi. We're going to talk about a little bit later tonight, where I will be proving to you that you are practicing Sharia in America for a long time ago. You, the one who are listening to me right now. All right? Let's move on.
Any system of man-made law is considered illicit under Islamic law, for whose adherence Allah already has provided the only law permitted. Sharia, Islam, and Western-style democracy can never coexist in harmony.
Do you understand that? You see, 30 years ago in Europe, Muslims were loving the constitution which they were following the land. They were in love with the freedom and the liberties they have in France, and Germany, and in England, and all these wonderful places, all right? Then the number of the Muslim grew from 1% to 5.5%. And behold, everything has changed. Now they don't want anything to do with the laws of the land. And that is how Muslims will be doing it here in America. Just gives them enough time. They will grow up in numbers, in power. They will have the upper hand, and they will do exactly what you see the Muslims are doing in Europe. Some people say, well, Muslims in America are more mixing with us. The melting pot of America is different than the melting pot of Europe. In Europe, they did not assimilate with the European. No. Let me tell you the difference between the Muslims in America and the Muslim in Europe. How many? Period. They believe in the same Quran. They believe in the same Allah. They believe in the same Muhammad. They wear the same clothes. They eat the same food. They talk the same way. Nothing different except the number. And when Muslim America will have the upper hand, it will be completely different. Just wait. Give it 10, 15 years from now. And America will be nothing but France or England or Germany or any other country in Europe, as we see. Now, here's what Allah said in the Quran concerning obeying the code of law, which is written, the Sharia.
And that the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has sent down in it. And whoever does not judge by what Allah has sent down, so those are the transgressors.
You're going to live with the teaching of the Quran, because if not, you are a transgressor. And the transgressor must be eliminated from the face of the earth. How? Through the practice of Sharia, which is teach Muslims to perform jihad, to get rid of any transgressors. That is your children, for sure your grandchildren, in this city, Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Sovereignty in Islam is the prerogative of Almighty Allah alone. He is the absolute arbiter of values, and it is His will that determines good and evil, right and wrong.
Who said that? Mr. Muhammad. Where do you live? United Kingdom. How long ago? Just 2003, when Muslims started taking the upper hand. You see, you do not know, you have no clue with human knowledge, with human intelligence, what is right, what is wrong. Only Allah knows what's right and wrong. Allah is the one who determines what is right and what is wrong. And Allah taught Muhammad and Allah, both of them, make up the Sharia, the Islamic law. You have no clue what is good for you, because you need to know Allah's will, Muhammad's will, Allah's command, Muhammad's command, and that's when we come up to the best life you can ever live. What should you know about Sharia?
Sharia guides all aspects of Muslim life: politics, daily routines, foods, clothing, sports, family and religion obligations, financial dealings, punishments, military, and importantly, how to deal with non-Muslims, infidels.
And believe me or not, this is what we'll be covering tonight. Sharia cover all aspects of life. Let me summarize it to you this way. When a man makes love to his wife for the hope to produce a child, there is a special prayer he will be praying before he make love to his wife. When that child grew up and be old and die, and they bury him in the dirt, facing Mecca, and they put dirt over his body, as they do that, there's a last prayer which Muslims pray over the dead body of that Muslim person. And between the first prayer and the last prayer, everything will happen in that person's life is covered by Sharia. If you give me an example, I say, yes indeed. Here's what Allah said. How about this? Yes indeed. Here's what Allah said. Imagine me. I want to go potty. I want to go to the bathroom. Here's the bathroom door. How do I do? You go to the bathroom door. With what foot? With your left foot. Can I go with my right foot? No, you have to go with the left foot. Now, if I want to clean myself after I use the bathroom, what hand should I use? The left hand. And everything will go with that. When you travel, there's a special prayer. When you arrive, there's a special prayer. When you eat, when you drink, when you sleep, when you build this, when you do that, what to wear, what to eat, how to live, everything about your life is already decreed by Allah and by Muhammad. That's why the word Islam means what? Submission. You surrender, you submit. You have zero freedom to choose. Well, maybe I don't want to do it this way. Maybe I don't. No, there's no maybe. There's no second option. You do it the right way, the Islamic way, or you are a transgressor, or you are a hypocrite. And believe it or not, transgressor and hypocrite must be killed, as Muhammad was taught by Allah in the Quran, and so on with every other non-Muslim believer.
Traditional Muslims who understand the Quran and the Hadith believe that Sharia, Islamic law, expresses the highest and best goals for all societies on earth. It is the law of Allah and bound to be the best of all.
If you just follow the teaching of the Sharia, as you're going to see in the end from that gentleman from England, we're going to see a little, he make a statement. If you follow the teaching of Sharia, if you follow the teaching of Islam, you live in peace. You have no fear. You're not going to worry about any punishment because you're doing what's right. If you're driving your car in the street and the speed limit is 40 miles an hour and you go 40 miles an hour, you will never worry about a cop to stop you, to give you a ticket. Just obey the law. Okay? Follow the laws of Islam, you will live in peace and harmony. If not, you're going to face the consequence of not being a true Muslim follower, a Muslim believer. Here's the first video. We're going to talk to some of the Muslims came from the country of Somalia. No, someone says these are uneducated, they're not very smart. No, just listen carefully. We'll go from there.
Now, if you're living in the US, would you prefer to live under US law or Sharia law? Well, you'd think the answer was pretty obvious, but that's not what one filmmaker discovered on the streets of Minnesota.
Do you feel more comfortable living under American law, or do you feel more comfortable living under Sharia law?
Sharia law. I'm a Muslim, I prefer Sharia law.
You prefer Sharia law over American law?
Of course, yeah. Of course, yeah.
Would you prefer to live in America or prefer to live in Somalia?
For me, I think it's Somalia.
Would you rather live in America or live in Somalia?
I would rather live in Somalia.
You prefer to live in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
The vast majority of young people who I asked would rather live in Somalia or in Saudi Arabia as opposed to the United States. It blew me away. So there's something about this pool of immigrants that has become very, very problematic for our country and for Western countries in general.
Reality. These Muslims don't like to live in America. They like to live in Saudi Arabia or Somalia. That's fine. Buy them, first class, one-way ticket to either countries he chooses. Very simple. They prefer to live by Sharia over Islamic law, over our Constitution. Why in the world the liberals are begging us and forcing us to bring them to America anyway? We're using our tax money to bring these people to America who hate our laws, who hate our life, who hate everything about us. They love to go there. Let them stay there. Don't bring them here. And those who like to leave, please, with all respect, a $10,000 gift, it's not going to bother us at all. I promise you. If we can get rid of all these people who would love to leave America and go back to Somalia or Saudi Arabia, $10,000 cash gift is nothing. As a matter of fact, I would go for a $100,000 gift. Because I promise you, in the next 2-3 generations, that man he was talking here will cost our taxpayer a good $2-3 million. I promise you. There are 12-13% Muslim live in England. They're taking 85% of the welfare system of England. So is in France, so is in Holland, so is in Germany, so is everywhere. I promise you, there are already plenty of Muslims in America who are draining our bank of money, the money we got, our tax collection of us. Soon, we're going to have to print more money to accommodate the Muslims who live in America. And what's important is, they don't like to live here. Please, let them go. Maybe these people were from Somalia, they're uneducated. Let's go to New York. These people from Minnesota, they're all uneducated. Let's go to New York and see what. By the way, notice the gentleman said what? Sharia law. Notice? Listen to Sean. He's going to use what? Sharia law. I beg you, when you talk, don't use this word again. From now on, you say Sharia or Islamic law. And since you don't speak any Arabic anyway, what is the point from saying the word Sharia? So call it Islamic law. End of story, okay? Islamic law. Move on. Here's what Sean said.
Well, we decided to launch a special Hannity investigation to find out if American Muslims think that Sharia law should supersede the U.S. Constitution. Earlier today, we sent out Fox News contributor David Webb to an Islamic cultural center in New York City. Now watch this closely.
your thoughts. Should Sharia law supersede the U.S. Constitution?
No, but I think the Sharia law is made by God, by Allah, and the Constitution is made by people. So it's not the same.
Do you believe that Sharia law should be above the U.S. Constitution?
Yes. Yes.
Should any religious law supersede the U.S. Constitution at any time? Any denomination?
Maybe in the future.
Should Sharia law be over the U.S. Constitution?
Yes. But the U.S. Constitution, which is made by people, and the Sharia law is made by Allah. So that is all the way above. That has to be definitely in the land, not for the America, for the whole world, would be above.
So that should be above the U.S.
Definitely.
Constitution?
Yes.
Definitely. This is the second group, and by the way, if we do that study, and the Muslims who live in Cape Girardeau, guess what? The same answer. It doesn't matter where you go. If you go to Minnesota, if you go to New York, if you go to Washington, if you go to Florida, it is the same. And the proof is, as we continue in our study, we're going to prove this more and more. Now, let's get to what is written here.
Because of this ardent belief, devout and fundamental Muslims all over the world are in constant struggle, jihad, with their ruling governments to establish Islamic Sharia as the country's only rule by replacing modern secular democracy, man-made laws, with Sharia, Allah's law.
And this is not just about America. This is not just about England. I'm talking about Egypt. Do you know what happened in my home country, Egypt, 3 years ago? When the Brotherhood took over Egypt with the help of Barack Hussein Obama? The first thing that in 1 year, notice that, from Sayyid Qutb and Hassan al-Banna conference, and then Sayyid Qutb, until that year, 3 years ago, it was almost 102 years, Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt were trying everything they can to take over Egypt. And they took over Egypt after over 100 years of waiting. And what they did in the first year, they are replacing the laws of Egypt by Sharia. And that's when the Muslim of Egypt said, no, I'm not talking about heaven, the other world. Why? Because they understand what's in Sharia. You American people are so ignorant of Sharia that you hear Muslims talk about it and you have no reaction whatsoever, as if he's saying something nice. Some of the liberal ministers in America will defend the Muslim asking for the right to practice Sharia in America. Why? Because these liberal ministers have zero knowledge about what Sharia is. They have no clue. So far, even us here tonight, we have no idea what Sharia is. Have I told you what it is yet? No. We're just talking about it, but we have not dig into it. We're going to get to it. Trust me. You're not going to leave this meeting as you came. It will be completely different ideas here. So, Muslims all over the Muslim world are trying hard, everything they can, to force Sharia over the people of these countries. And the people of Egypt said no. And guess what? Sharia will be practiced fully in America before it will be practiced in Egypt.
Wow.
Even though there's less than 1% Muslim live in America. Because the Egyptians know what's in it, and you have no clue.
Each and every law in the Sharia can be traced back to the Quran and Sunnah. Once a person buys into the Quran and the Sunnah, the Sharia is just a step away.
Exactly. Now, I'm asking a question again. I'm not trying to sell my book, but this is the whole purpose of my meetings, education. Remember, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. How many of you have read my translation of the Quran? Put your hand up. In that meeting, we got half, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And guess what? You are the conservative of the conservative of the conservative of Cape Girardeau. You know what that means? That means we're talking about less than 1% in reality. When you compare to the American people, it is 0.000004. Well, not even 1 of every 1,000 of 1%. It doesn't exist. We, those who knows what's in the Quran, do not exist in the map of the 50 states of the United States of America. And once again, I beg you, before you leave tonight, you get a copy. And not just you get a copy, get 2. One for you, one for your children, one somebody you know. And not just get a copy, you read it. And not just read it, you take a picture of it with your smartphone and send specific verses to your neighbors, to your friends. Each one of you know for sure, know at least 100 friends. Some meetings I go speak and the guy said, no, I got 1,800 in my list. When I send an email, it goes to 1,800 home. Okay? Maybe you don't have the 1,800, but maybe you know at least 100. You know what that means? That means tonight I spoke to at least, 100,000 or so. I mean, it's a huge number. If you do your job, your part, as I'm doing my part, get a copy of the Quran, take some picture of it, send a few verses around, and if you do this once in a while, you do this during the year, you got the Quran read 3-4 times, you get your Quran, you give it to somebody as a gift. You don't put it on a shelf. That is a book. If it will not be read in America, Muslims will be practicing every Sharia, every law is written in the books against your own children in that city, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It's very important to educate ourselves.
Muslims claim that they are to abide by the laws of the land, but if that is really the case, why are CARE leaders so upset when states vote or declare that they will not allow foreign rules of law, like Sharia, to coexist in their courts? Some liberal politicians are also advocating for Sharia.
Why CARE does not want me to come to speak to you here tonight in that meeting if we live in America with the freedom of speech? Right. We can say whatever I want to say. I don't like your hair, sir. Ma'am, your eyes is crooked. Your nose is too big. Your nose is too small. I can say whatever I want. It's a free country. But that does not fit with Sharia, as we're going to see later. Sharia does not allow me to say anything to upset the Muslims. So the best thing you do is shut down freedom of speech. Usama Dakdok cannot speak at the library because he's a bigot, because he's a hate monger, because he teaches lies about Islam. And if you ask these people, have you ever heard Usama before? No. So why do you say that? Because we know it. No. They're taking advantage of your ignorance of what our ministry is all about and what Islam is all about. So, CARE, as we're going to give you some examples now, they are the one who will tell you, we have no problem to live in America with the American Constitution. As a matter of fact, we don't want to have Sharia in America. We'll find out a little bit more in depth why they say that later. But at the same time, if the state of Missouri put in the next 2018 this session here for people to vote, we will not allow Muslims to practice Sharia, Islamic law in the state of Florida, in the state of Missouri. Guess what CARE will do? They will be suing that case and do everything they can to stop you from making any law to forbid them from practicing Sharia in the near future. So in their service by their lips, in lip soft service, oh, we don't want to have Sharia in America. But their heart desire it is, yes, we will force you to live by our law, like it or not. We're going to find out a little bit later why they say that. So, let me go to the example here. Let's go to Oklahoma, and that was November 29, 2010. I spoke in Oklahoma in the same, a week later after they have this thing happen there. Listen.
A federal judge in Oklahoma on Monday barred the implementation of a ballot initiative passed by 70% of voters in Oklahoma that would have forbidden state courts from considering Sharia law in their decisions.
I was there a week or 10 days after they voted, and 70% of the people of Oklahoma said, we don't want Sharia, and it passed. 70%. Okay? Now, the people there, we were doing a big crowd there. There was maybe 1,300 people. One of the rally I do was Worldview Weekend. And when I said, you guys passed the law, they all cheered up, yeah, 70%. I said, shame on you. Shame on you, call yourself an American. 70%. You know what that means? That means 30% said yes for Sharia. Do you know how many Muslims live in the state of Oklahoma? Roughly around 0.3. Less than 0.5% of the people. So where's the 29.7 who said yes for Sharia came from? Oh, these are the Democrats, the liberals. Those who love the Muslims because they think they love the Muslim, but in reality, they hate their own children and they hate the Muslim. You cannot love the Muslim for hell. If you love someone and you care about that someone and you know that someone is doing something to hurt himself and you let him continue to do what he's doing, you